Hey everybody, welcome back to the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. If this is your first time here, my name is Chris. I'm the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. I like to review craft beers, I like to drink craft beers, and I don't like to pay a lot of money doing it, so the beers that I review usually come in around the $2 range. And today's selection is no exception. It is a beer that cost me, well, actually it cost me $2.49, but I try to keep it under $2, keep it around $2. So basically, as I see it, if I can keep it $2.99 or less, I'm still keeping it around the $2 range. And every once and again, if you're going to try something new, you do have to spend a little bit more money, and that's often the case with imports. And today's import is the Warka. This is actually, I believe that's just it. It's Warka Brewing, but this is their Warka. Uh, I'm not sure that there's a name above and beyond that. Uh, Looking it up on Untapped, it is referred to as a lager-eurostrong. That seems to be exactly how everybody is phrasing this particular name, a lager-eurostrong. Anyway, it has a 6.5 ABV. The IBUs are unavailable to me. I was not able to find any of those. It is just slightly past its best by date, but that's entirely my fault. It was sitting in the back of the fridge for quite a while. And I finally moved a few things, saw it, and went, oh, that's right, I still got this beer. 7 of my friends on Untapped have given it a cumulative score of 3.07. 13,000 of us have given it a cumulative score on Untapped of 3.18. Beer Advocate has 234 rankings, giving it a cumulative score of 3.35, which on their scale is okay. Simply okay. So, there you have it. There's the ins and outs of that. This particular beer combines species of barley, bright from Pilsen and dark roasted. Okay, see if there's anything more about this. Another thing to consider too, as I said, I did pay $2.49 for this, but this is also 16.9 ounces as opposed to the usual 12-ounce bottle. So it could be argued that this is actually cheaper in some of the domestic beers that I buy for $1.99, considering they're only 12 ounces. I am not finding anything more on this bottle giving any explanation more of the beer. It is from Poland. It is from specifically. Um, huh, I don't think I see a city, but anyway, it's a Polish beer. And there you have the ins and outs of it. So let's get to giving it a taste. Now, those of you who were around for the last review of the Zagorka special from Bulgaria, um, you will note that this actually has higher rankings than those. And as I've said before, I've kind of noticed on Untapped that, and Beer Advocate as well, that beers from the Balkans and beers from Eastern Europe don't seem to get a whole lot of love. But this one got, oh, I'd say at least, well, considering how poorly these beers often rank, I'd say this was actually on the high end of scores. So, there you have it. You are seeing a substantially darker and more auburn color than this actually is. It's a lot more golden, but that's just the way that the light works out. And that's kind of how it works on the camera. I've noticed before. Usually it is darker. Occasionally it'll come through lighter on the camera, but not very often. Okay, so I'm going to describe this as having, I'm going to say high carbonation. There's actually a lot of bubbles in that. I think if I put it up to the camera, you can see all those bubbles coming through. The head seems kind of wispy. Um, I see lots of bubbles popping very quickly, especially as I give it a swirl. I'm going to do the beard wipe, see what we can come up with. Not much of anything really, so let's put my nose directly into it and see what we've got in the way of a bouquet. Boy, I sure smell a lot of malt and I smell a lot of booze. Very, very boozy smelling. This is 6.5, so it's on the higher end for lagers. Although for a Euro Strong lager, I think that's about average. Malt and booze, and that's pretty much it. A little bit of spikiness, but yeah, that's malt and booze. So I'm going to dig into it and see how it tastes. Cheers. That's not bad. I'm going to describe that as a medium-high mouthfeel. It is kind of spiky. A little bit of a honey flavor to it. Wow, that is one very loud bird, isn't it? Anyway, as I said, sort of a spiky mouthfeel. I might even describe it as a high mouthfeel. A little bit of a honey flavor. Yeah, I'd have to say honey and oats are what I taste mostly. Not a particularly complex beer. Not bad, not bad. Um, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. Well, that might be a little high. 3.25 I think is well enough. Uh, and remember what I said about the wispy head. Now you can see there's no head there at all. Um, there's not really any fruitiness to it, and the booziness that I smelled in the bouquet, that's not really coming through on the tongue. Mostly it's honey and oat. Honestly, it tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios turned into liquid form, and some carbonation. That's really what I taste, is honey and nut, or not nut, but honey and oat. So, not bad, not bad. Like I said, I'll give it a 3.25. For $2.49, that's not a bad beer. I've actually had worse beers from Eastern Europe. The truth of the matter is, as I said, I see that these beers oftentimes get low scores, and while I do think that sometimes the scores are a little too low, it's not very often that I drink one of these Eastern European or Balkan beers and think, that's just not being fair at all. I just find that usually that they score a little lower than I would have scored them. But all in all, this is not a bad beer, and if you're into trying out varieties from Eastern Europe, I'd say give this one a chance. Now, I did notice on tap that Warka does have other beers, so I'd be willing to try out other beers from this brewery. And you know, it's worth a shot anyway. So, gang, until next time, drink good beer, don't break the bank doing it, and cheers. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.